results.
I hope he is my daddy. I really do. Because I really need a dad. I really, really do. I've always told her who her dad was. It's not Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, you are not her father.
Oh my God. Then who is my daddy?
She has been searching for 36 years, and she is not alone. Today, 4 cases where truth was buried under secrets and missing fathers. A man who paid child support for decades but never believed. A mother honoring a man killed before the DNA could be done. A woman whose story falls apart when 2 men are excluded. And a daughter dragging her mother back to court. Let's get into it.
You are in court to prove to your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Lacey, that he is the biological father of your adult son, Trayvon Lacey. You state that the defendant has been an absentee father full of excuses, and you want it all to end today in court with the truth.
25 years. That is how long this question has been hanging over Trayvon Lacey's head. His mother is certain. His alleged father says the math never added up. Lacey says he was incarcerated when the baby was born and never signed the birth certificate, but Toure gave the hospital his name anyway. It was typed in without him there. The state made him the legal father, and child support followed.
Between 3 and 6 months years old, I received a court paper to go to State of Ohio Child Support Court, and me and Miss Toure, we did both appear at the child support court. When I walked into the court, the judge, he looked at me and he said, "That's your son, you know."
2 completely different memories of the same courtroom moment. She says he was offered DNA and turned it down. He says that is not how it happened. Either way, the state treated him as the legal father, and the money started. For decades, Lacey has been paying child support on a child he was never sure was his, and the receipts prove it.
A real question of paternity that both sides acknowledge. You presented this evidence to the court, which indicates that you owe $37,200 and some odd dollars in child support, which you have
knocked it down to $5,000.
You've got about $5,800.
Over $30,000 paid off, and the entire time he carried this doubt. He says there was another man in the picture, and instead of getting a DNA test, Toure went to the other man, who just looked at the child and said no. No test, no confirmation, just a visual check, and she moved on. But the story of how that other man entered the picture is where this case gets wild.
You know, Miss Toure, I looked at her and said, nice looking young lady. You know, maybe we can get together. You know?
And so, Ms. Toure, you don't remember sending your son up with the phone number?
Your Honor, yes, I do remember meeting Mr. Lacey, and partially that is true. The thing is, I found him very attractive.
They met on a bus. She sent her son over with a phone number. He moved in, then he vanished, and while he was gone, she moved on to someone else. That someone else is the center of this entire dispute. Lacey says he came back from his trip and found another man inside the apartment. The details get specific.
He had on his own clothes, first of all. He had on a pair of pants, he didn't have on a shirt.
Pajama pants.
He didn't have on a shirt,
blue,
but he did have his own clothes on. Top. And I had my clothes on.
No, you did not.
So pajamas or no pajamas, were you intimate with this guy? You said it's your new friend.
I was intimate, yes.
She admits the other man, but she says the timing clears Lacey in. She was already 12 to 14 weeks pregnant before the other relationship started. The math is the whole case, and it is about to land directly on Trayvon, who has been standing here quietly this entire time, listening to both of his parents go back and forth over whether he even belongs to this family.
You've been very quiet listening to this testimony, and I know some of it's probably difficult, son. Do you have something you'd like to say to the court?
Yes, I want to start off by saying my mom, she was, an excellent mother.
No anger, no shouting, just a grown man telling the person who might be his father what it cost him to grow up without one. He says his own children deserve to know their grandfather. Lacey heard every word and agreed it was true, but agreeing and stepping up are 2 different things. The judge presses deeper, and what comes out next is something Trayvon has never heard before.
The first time I heard this, man.
He is lying.
So
when Miss Toure came from the doctor and she told me that she was pregnant, I asked Toure, I said, is it mine or is it the other guy?
Trayvon is the most mature person in this courtroom right now. He does not care about who lied or who paid what. He just wants the truth. Whoever it lands on, he is ready. And Toure has been in contact with the other man this entire time. She has pictures from him. Trayvon did not know any of that. Here come the results.
In the case of Toure versus Lacey, when it comes to 25-year-old Trayvon Lacey, Mr. Lacey, you are the father.
He is the father, 25 years of doubt, over $30,000 in child support, and when the truth finally lands, he stands there frozen, will not look at his son, will not say a word. The judge called it. Both of them caused this. She kept a secret. He refused to show up. Trayvon handled it with grace. Moving on.
You are here with your mother because you say the defendant's son, Mr. Abraham, fathered your 10-month-old daughter, Kanaya. You say that Ms. Baker and her family's public denial of this child has caused you pain, and you are here for an apology.
This case is different from the start. The man at the center of this dispute is not in the courtroom. Kashawn Abraham was shot and killed 3 months after baby Kania was born. His mother made him a promise before he died. Get the DNA test done. That promise brought everyone here. Hooker says she has been treated like an outcast and does not care anymore, but her mother is about to explain why.
It's not that she don't care. Her feelings been hurt, so she hold a guard up. It's not Miss Baker who denies Kenaya. It's her family who makes my daughter feel some type of way. It's not Miss Baker.
The doubt is not coming from the grandmother. It is coming from the extended family. Shamara is making a clear distinction. Baker has never been the problem, but the family treated this baby and her daughter like they do not belong. The source traces back to one rumor. Another young man told Kashawn he was sleeping with Hooker behind his back. That rumor poisoned everything.
We was gonna get a test done because of what the other young man said, and
What did the other young man say?
He told Keyshawn that when he wasn't around, he was supposedly sleeping with the knife.
Shot on a Sunday, died on a Friday, and somewhere in between he asked his mother to make a promise. She is here to keep it, but the young mother is adamant. There was no other man. She wants to know why a rumor from a teenager carries more weight than her word. The truth is, both sides have a version of who Kashawn was, and his sister is about to share hers.
Maybe her perception of what other people view of her is just her perception, because she has to understand that sometimes it's hard for people to look, for me personally, to look at the baby because it's just a reminder that my brother's not here.
That is a perspective that gets lost in paternity disputes. Latoya is not rejecting this baby out of spite. She is grieving her brother. Every time that child walks in, she sees who is missing. The judge asked how the family learned about the pregnancy. It came through the school bus. Baker called to ask. The mother confirmed, but the real wound is about to surface, the obituary.
Why it's so important.
I'm here to do what I promised my son to do. I'm not trying to do anything against anybody to make her feel bad. I ain't never been denying them. We never had a problem. She come stay the night when she feel like it, her and the baby.
That is a grandmother who has been holding it together. She has welcomed this child into her home, fed her, loved her, invited the mother to birthday dinners, all while carrying her dead son's doubt in the back of her mind. She kept every door open, but something happened with the obituary that tore the other side apart, and it is about to come out.
One of my family members was in the obituary, but my baby one. Y'all can keep my family member out the obituary.
Okay, first of all,
case.
slow down because I want to understand.
She said one of her family members was in the obituary.
But there was no mention of Kanaya. Was this intentional, Ms. Baker, Ms. Bland? Was this something
just
that...
like this, Judge. She went and finished up without
me. 3 names were left off the obituary, not just the baby. Baker says nobody was thinking straight. They were burying a child, and her daughter ran ahead to finish the paperwork without her. But the judge is not satisfied with context. She asks Latoya point blank whether the omission of baby Kania was intentional, and Latoya does not dodge it.
They don't have to.
I already told, you know what I said already, Judge? Since she got left out the obituary, I have already told them, if it comes back saying Kenaya belongs to Keyshawn, I'm going directly back to the funeral home.
Latoya owned it. She left the baby out on purpose to protect her mother from reading a name that might not belong. But Baker's response was the most honorable moment in this courtroom. She will go back to the funeral home and get new obituaries printed so her grandbaby's name is where it belongs. A grandmother keeping 2 promises, one to her son and one to this child. Here come the results.
11-month-old Kenaya Abraham. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Baker, Mr. Abraham, and Kenaya Abraham is 0%.
0%. Not even close. Baker kept her promise to her dead son, came to this courtroom, and found out the baby she has been loving and protecting has no biological connection to her family. She almost collapsed. Hooker lost it. And somewhere in that chaos, a grandmother just had the last piece of her son taken away from her.